are here today on the Road to a Million Show.com. Road to a Million Show.com. I'd like to welcome everybody for being here. I'd like to welcome everybody who's, commenting and making us a little better, making us a little more popular each week. I'm Daron C. Campbell, the hardest working man in real estate. I am your real estate mentor. I am your accountability partner. I want to be your conscious. I want to be the person who kind of makes you think a little bit more, wants to help you get better every day. The goal is to get better. So Road to a Million Show, for if you're a first-time listener, I got a few first-time listeners who told me that they will be listening today. And so I appreciate you. I want you to understand the idea here, because there's a whole lot of talking heads out there. There's a lot of people out there just yapping on the internet. And I sure hope I'm not one of those to you. I don't want to be just another person rambling or ranting or talking on the internet and, interesting to you for all of about 15 seconds, and then you're on to the next thing. The idea here, the idea on the road to a million, is for you to hopefully grab something that helps you grow. Hopefully hear something that helps you better yourself so that you can better your life, so that you can then pass that along. It's kind of this thing that we want to be viral. I want it to be contagious. I want it to be something that that you can look forward to every Tuesday and Thursday. We go Tuesday and Thursday from 9 till 11 Pacific Standard Time. It's always recorded. It's always something you can go back and look at on the website. But we do this every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 to 11 Pacific Time. And hopefully it's something you can look forward to that you go, you know what, I'm going to go there and learn something that'll help me grow. And all right, so who am I, and why am I qualified to even talk to you like this? Well, I'm Daron Campbell again. I call myself the hardest working man in real estate because real estate is my background, is my claim to fame. I've been in the real estate business a long time. I've been fortunate enough to close a little over $4 billion worth of transactions, and that's only important in that I have learned a lot about what's going on in the world of business, finance, real estate. I've made a bajillion mistakes as it relates to money, finance, wealth building, personal growth. And so what I've done is I'm trying to take those things and crystallize them into a consumable basket of goods, and then I want to give it all back to you. So have I accomplished a lot? Absolutely. Have I screwed up a lot? Oh my God, that might even be a longer list. So what I want to do is I want to take everything that I got here, and I want to give it back to you in the form of some methodology, some theories, some philosophy, some practices, some actual action items that you can take and you can use to better your life. And that's the whole purpose. That's the whole idea. So my overall thought is that I'm here to try to help you improve your brain, your body, and your bank account. Now, that's a broad set of things, but I think that's what makes people complete. And I think that people who are busy working on one department of their life and neglecting the others, then you tend to become an imbalanced person. You live a lopsided life. I'm not necessarily saying you spend the same amount of time on those three departments. It's an uneven equation. However, if you work on one thing, you work on your bank account only, and you neglect your body and your brain, then you're going to be a very, very lopsided person. And I think you'll fail to realize all the gifts that the hard work you're doing in that one department can give you because you're neglecting the other two. See, everything, I believe happiness is comprised of this ultimate balance: brain, body, and bank account. Think about it. If any one of those is deficient in a really major way, it's hard for you to be ultimately happy, I think. So I think together we work on a little bit of all of them. And in each show, my goal is to try to give you a little bit of growth, little growth fuel for each of those departments. Does that make sense? All right, so that's why I don't want to just be some other dude who's ranting on the internet. I want to be this this self-improvement guy. I want to be this guy that helps you do what we call personal development. This show is about personal development. It's not just about real estate. It's not just about money. It's not just about, what to eat or what not to eat. It's about personal development, and personal development encompasses all these things. So this show, Road to a Million Show, that lives on roadtoamillionshow.com, is here for your betterment, for your growth, for your improvement, and you get the benefit of all my victories and many failures to grow from. How about that? Is that fair? Is that something cool? So we're watching. A lot of you are watching on roadtoamillionshow.com. A lot of you are watching on Daron Campbell Coaching Live on Facebook, and a lot of people are going on Daron Campbell TV on YouTube. And anyway, join us however you want to join us. Come at us in any platform, any format. I'm going to give you a phone number that I always forget. If you want to call in and talk to me, I'm going to give you that phone number in a few minutes. And if you want to discuss it, let's discuss it. We got a lot to talk about. Today we're going to get into the qualities of a leader. Today we're going to talk about the qualities of a leader. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of information about a fantastic book I read about health and wellness. And then, then hopefully we'll get something positive out of all of those. So again, I want to welcome the new listeners. Man, I think I talked to 6 people in the last 4 days that said, hey, you know what? I haven't listened to your show yet, but I'm coming. I'm going to check you out. And then somebody said, hey, you know what? I missed last week, but I'm going to check you out. And then somebody said, hey, I listened to your show. I didn't even know who this person was. They're like, man, I've been listening to your show since the first one. I'm like, you have? I'm like, how'd you find out about it? He goes, I don't know. I just found out about it. So we're growing. We're getting contagious. We're getting viral. And so I'm glad you're joining us. Thanks for being here. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome. Welcome to roadtoamillionshow.com. Let's see. A couple of shout outs. Okay, so Desiree said she's going to listen today for the first time. I hope you're listening, Desiree. Welcome to the Road to a Million Show. Who else told me they were going to listen today? A lady named Maria said she's going to listen today. Hope you're checking in, Maria. Hope this is good for you. I had a person who is in sales. They're in the pharmaceutical sales department, a guy named Dwayne. I hope Dwayne's listening. Dwayne, we got some tips for leadership here. Oh, and guess what? I ran into a reverend, and I can't remember what his name was, but he said he listened to me. He goes, man, when I listened to you, you sounded like you were a preacher yourself. I was like, nah, no preacher, but maybe I got a sermon or two to share with you guys. And then I got my whole tribe over here on Facebook. Looks like, and my eyes are going bad, but it looks like I got nephew Julian on the Facebook Live. I got Angie. I've got Ronaldo. I got cousin Eric. That's cousin Eric, y'all. Of course, I got Marlon all the time. Marlon's right here in the house with me. I got producer Nick right here. So we got the whole gang. Who else am I missing here? I can't see very well, you guys. So if I didn't shout you out, I'm sorry. I'm sure I got Latanya on there somewhere. Anyway, welcome. Thanks for being consistent. Thanks for showing up all the time. You guys are my peeps. All right, today we're going to talk about the qualities of a leader. Now, why is that important? Why do you care about the qualities of a leader? The leaders are the ones making things happen, you guys. The leaders are the ones that are making the changes in the world. The leaders are the ones that are helping cause change in this world. And then everybody else just sort of falls in line. I tend to think that most of the people who listen to me or even want to hang around me or tolerate me tend to want to be leaders. And if developing your leadership capabilities is something that is of interest to you, and that's it's kind of who tends to be in my audience, then we need to get better at those skill sets. And we need to get better at those characteristics of what a leader is, what a leader looks like, what a leader does. And I think it's easy to forget. So we're going to dive into what a leader does and what a leader is. I see T. Good morning, T. So that's the idea today. Today, it's all about the qualities of a leader. And I'm going to run down what those qualities are. There's quite a few of them. But if you look in the mirror and see if you are developing those qualities, those characteristics, then you might be well on your way to becoming a complete leader. And that doesn't mean you have to be the CEO of a company yet. It doesn't mean you have to be in charge of anything yet. It's just this is what people who tend to become great leaders consistently work on. And if you're consistently working on it, I don't care if you're 16 years old. If you're consistently working on these things, you're on your way to being a leader. And here's the funny thing. Leaders aren't born, leaders are made. Here's another tricky one for you. You know, greatness isn't born. Greatness is something you create. It's something you could pull out of somebody, something you could pull out of yourself. And so we're going to talk about that because these characteristics of a leader are evidence that leaders are made and they're not born. So if you think you see somebody who's at the top of the food chain, somebody who's in charge, who's owning it, who's a billionaire, a millionaire, a very, very wildly successful person, I want you to throw away the concept that they were lucky. I'm telling you that they exhibit a few characteristics that most other people don't. They work on a few characteristics that most other people won't. They take the night off while the person who's becoming or working toward becoming a leader is working on. They're working on stuff while the rest of the people are sitting around doing less, doing nothing, doing the passive thing. All right, so we're going to take a very, very short break. We're going to come back with the characteristics of a leader. The characteristics of a leader. This is the Road to a Million Show. RoadToAMillionShow.com is where we live. I'm Daron C. Campbell, the hardest working man in real estate, your real estate mentor. I'm your accountability partner, and we're all together going to the top. We'll be back in a few. all right. We are back. We're back on the Road to a Million show at roadtoamillionshow.com. I'm Daron C. Campbell, the hardest working man in real estate. You're a real estate mentor. I'm here with my whole tribe. We're all going together. Where? To the top. And that's what's up. And how are we going to do that? We're just trying to get better. We're just trying to get a little bit better every day. We're just trying to get a little bit more, a little bit sharper with our skills, a little bit sharper with our thought process, a little bit sharper with the things that complete life in a world that's like a big blur to everybody. And this world's things are going so fast in the world, and things get so confusing in the world. We're trying to bring a little bit more order to the way you think and behave so that you can slow the chaos down. You know there's chaos everywhere. Most people I know are living in a state of confused chaos. And what I'm trying to do is trying to help you. You know, it's kind of like they say when a pro athlete gets to a certain point in their trajectory, the great ones, where the whole game slows down. It's slow, like a great quarterback like Joe Montana or Peyton Manning. They always say this when they get interviewed, that there came a point when this fast, crazy game slowed down for them, and suddenly it was almost like the thing was in slow motion. And not only could they see everything that was going on, but then they could also execute and put that ball where the player was going to be, or know where that defender was headed, so they can make the proper move to avoid them. And so I think life can be the same way. I think a lot of us spend this heavy amount of time in a state of chaotic confusion, and we never get to slow it all down and understand the game that's going on in front of us. And so what I like to try to do, and what I'm trying to do in my life, is get to the point where it all slows down, where I see things very clearly and then can execute and be on the winning side of the contest, of the game, right? Life is this big game. We're all playing it. Some of us are playing it, confused as heck and wondering why is this game going so fast? Some of us are playing like as if we're on the sidelines going, well, why is everybody playing and I'm not in the game? And some people are getting cut from the team and wondering why is that guy getting paid $100 million and going to the Super Bowl, and I'm on the sidelines watching, or I'm at home watching on television. The metaphor is, you got to play the game to win. Life is the game. You need to be playing it to win. And so if I can play, coach or trainer, then maybe I can serve my purpose. And I think maybe that's what I think part of my purpose is. So today we're talking about the characteristics of a leader. And I think we all ought to aspire to become leaders of one sort or another. I think everybody here needs to become a leader in whatever it is you do. I personally want to be a personal development leader. So my quest to become the world's greatest speaker, trainer, teacher is the lane I have chosen to run in. So I need to become an expert. I need to become a professional. I need to become the best. My goal should be to become the best I can be in this particular lane. And not every lane. I'll never be the best, the best singer, or the best basketball player, or the best carpenter or lawyer. I've chosen my lane, and that's the lane I'm striving to become the best in. I need to become a leader in my lane. You see, a lot of people think leader is just like this generic thing. No, it's a very specific term. When you decide to become a leader, then I think it's incumbent upon you to decide of what you plan to become a leader of. Did I say that right? There's too many ofs. What you plan to become a leader of. What is it you plan to lead? You see, if you compartmentalize things and say, wait a minute, some people might want to become a leading health expert. You might want to become, you might be a dietitian. If you're a dietitian, then I think your quest ought to become the greatest leader of dietitians and people who want to learn about diet and health of anybody that lives on the planet Earth. The process is never complete until you become the best there is to be. And it's not about the best you can, because the best you can is a temporary condition. So like, I can do the best I can at whatever I endeavor today, but that doesn't make it the best there is, right? So there's a distinct difference. So if you want to be the best there is, and that's what I think that ought to be your goal. You want to be the best there is at what you do. That means you do the best you can today, and then hopefully tomorrow you'll do better than that. And the next day you'll do better than that. And then on this marathon called life, eventually you'll get to this level of supreme superiority. You'll be a superlative in your lane. Now that's the important part to start with. Choose your lane. What's your lane? Do you have a lane? Do you even know what your lane is? Let's start with that. Before I get into the characteristic of a leader, I think you ought to think about, what would I be a great leader of? Okay? And so my decision to become a leader of first, at this point, first real estate agents, and then salespeople in general, and then people who want to grow financially and mentally and physically, they all kind of have fallen in line because I found my lane. I think I've chosen my lane. Now you might want to look at your life and say, hey, you know what? This is what I think my lane is over here. I know a lot of real estate agents, their lane is selling real estate in the particular world that they live in. And their goal should be to be the best there is in selling that. You understand? Does that make sense? My buddy Latanya, she's on the tribal feed over here on Facebook Live, and she's a Las Vegas realtor and credit repair expert. Did I get that right, Latanya? Well, the fact is, she ought to be aiming to be the best credit repair realtor that Las Vegas has ever seen. You feel me? And so that's what you ought to decide what your lane is. Now, I'm gonna tell you about a book. Nick, I didn't give you this one, but I'm gonna throw it up there anyway. To choose your lane, you ought to think about what is it? What are the cards that I've been dealt? What did God give me? And this book really helps you kind of hone in on it. This is called The One Thing. This is The One Thing by Gary Keller, founder of Keller Williams Real Estate, right? Well, this book is valuable because what it emphasizes is that you ought to decide what it is you do and then drill down on the one thing that you want to become, and then drill down on the one thing you ought to be focused on, so that then you can drill down on the one thing you ought to be working on today. Does that make sense? Okay, what's the one thing? Look, okay, so I put myself way out there to you guys. I want to be the #1 speaker trainer on planet Earth. That's my goal. I want to stand in the Coliseum with 104,000 people in the stands, and I want to speak the Daron Campbell gospel. That's me. That's where I want to be. I'm just telling you guys how it is. There it is. You got my skin in the game. I'm committing to you guys. That's where I'm going to be one day, right? I want to motivate the planet. I want to be the #1 self-improvement, self-help guy on planet Earth. Okay, so in order to be that, I need to focus, because that's my long-term goal. So then I need to focus on what is the one thing I need to do to get better each day. And then that brings it down to, what is the one thing I need to be doing today in order to get me to tomorrow, so that I'm a little bit better tomorrow than I was today, right? So in order to become that guy that we're talking about, that's standing on a stage in front of 100,000 people, I gotta become a leader in that arena. And if I can put together all of the elements and all the characteristics of a leader in that lane, in that one thing, then I got a better chance of getting there than if I just sat around and hoped for it. You see, life's not about hoping. Life's not about wishing. Life's not about wanting. You know, my grandmother used to talk about people who said they wanted something. She goes, "You're just living in a want. That doesn't mean you're not doing anything. You're not taking any action. Stop living in a want and start doing some things that are in your lane that can help you get better today, and tomorrow better than you were today, the next day better than you were tomorrow, and on and on and on. If you get a little bit better every day, and you give your best effort, and you focus those efforts on that, what is that? That one thing, then you'll find you're not scattered. Then you'll find you have your mission. Then you'll find that, guess what? You win. It's crazy. I know, and I know I digress here, but I have coached a lot of successful real estate agents. And you want to know what the most successful real estate agents have in common? Focus on one thing. They are specialists. They're specialists in a particular neighborhood, or they're specialists in a particular real estate type, or they're specialists in a particular client type. I know a guy who only focuses on investing money for doctors. The guy makes millions of dollars and only works with doctors who want to invest. I know somebody else who focuses on a particular neighborhood in the valley. This guy makes more money than 99% of all realtors on planet Earth, and all he focuses on is one neighborhood in the valley. What's your one thing? What's your one thing? Now, the homework assignment, the exercise is decide what your thing is, what your one thing is, and now I'm going to talk to you about how to become a leader in that department. Does that make sense? Are we ready for that? I know that was like some big giant lead up. I think it might have taken me 30 minutes to get to the point to start talking about what we're going to be talking about, but it was important that I laid the groundwork, because just becoming a leader with all these characteristics I'm going to tell you about, just like acting as if you have those characteristics doesn't make you a leader. You have to decide in which department you choose to lead. And it's a decision. It's a decision, but it's not a random decision. You see, if you sit down and search your feelings and search within yourself and get quiet with yourself and ask yourself, try this out. Ask yourself, what is it that God gave me and only me? What is it that, you can put it in different terms, what are the cards that the universe has dealt me and only me? What is it that I have passion for or a propensity for? What comes easy to me? What makes me feel good when I'm doing it? What would I do for free? What would I do if there were no paycheck attached to it? What would I do? What would I do anyway? Those things, those questions are the things that can lead you to your one thing. And maybe, just maybe, that's your calling in life. And maybe, just maybe, if you develop your calling in life for a long enough period of time and with enough intensity, that thing will support the greatest lifestyle you ever desired. How about that? Think about it. Think about it. There is no department in this world where somebody's not making money. So if you think like, well, I can't make any money doing that, I say rethink it. I say think about that real carefully. You might be wrong. There might be the ability. I can challenge you. I bet you no one out there can tell me about something that they love to do that they couldn't make a living at, a really good living. Matter of fact, that's a challenge, an open challenge to you guys. Matter of fact, Nick's going to remind me of the phone number so that I can tell you to call in if you want to talk to me. But the fact is, I'll stump the whole tribe here. There is nothing you can tell me about that I can't find a lane for you to make money in. There you go. All right, so here we go. Was I supposed to start talking about the characteristics of a leader about 20 minutes ago? Sorry, I rant, I digress. So here we go. Let's dive in. You got the foundation. So now let me give you the characteristics. Here we go. Let's start with the first characteristic of a great leader. Oh, wait, let's digress a little bit. A great leader. There are leaders, there are leaders, and then there are great leaders. There are leaders who are self-proclaimed leaders, and they are happy to get on stage or on camera. And then there are great leaders that people are clamoring to hear and follow and will go anywhere they go and will basically do anything to be around this person. Or, a great leader is like a magnet. They're self-proclaimed leaders. I'm in charge. I'm the boss. I'm the leader. I'm the this. And then there are people who magnetize the crowd. There are people just, I got to get more of him. I got to have more of her. I want to hear what she says. I want to read what she writes. I want to be where she is. That's what great leaders are built on. So let's start. Characteristic number 1 of a great leader. The first characteristic is character. Character itself. So character is a big deal because character is not something you talk. It's not a discussion. It's not a conversation. It's not, hey, I have character. Character is something you are. It's something you embody. It's something that I can't sell you on my character. You can't convince someone of your character. Somebody once said, talent is a gift, character is a choice. So character is something you decide and then you live it. It's not something you can dip in and out of. It's not something that's temporary. It's not like something like, well, I'm going to have character today, and then tomorrow I'm going to go back to my evil ways. It doesn't work like that. Either you have character or you don't. Either you embody character or you don't. Now, the reason character is so important for a leader or for a great leader is because it has longevity. See, character has longevity and lasting relationships and lasting success, and that's why it's something that is essential for a great leader to maintain their greatness. It's for a great leader to maintain their tribe. A great leader will maintain their following. How long has Oprah Winfrey been famous and have people obsess over her? Is it 30 years yet? It's probably 30 years, probably more. But the point is, how does she have such sustainability? You know why or how? It's because people believe that who she is on that screen is who she is. You see how character works? Who she is authentic to who she's being on screen. And so there's no fakeness to be perceived. There's nothing phony that people perceive she is. She's not trying to be somebody. Matter of fact, she has put her vulnerability out there for all of us to see for years and years and years. And as a result, she's credible. And so that's why people believe in her character. That's why they believe that her character is not just a character. They believe that that's really who they're seeing. You're seeing the real the real Oprah. And so that's really where longevity comes in. So think about that as you think about the fact that a great leader has great character and really what that means. I was trying to give you a little deeper definition of what character really embodies and why people have longevity. It's because their character is perceived a certain way, and that's why people stick around. Okay? Because if you don't have character, then you'll be one way, and then you'll be one way, to your clients or on screen or in a meeting, and then you'll be a totally different way in real life. And there's a conflict there, because that means everything you do is putting on airs, it's putting on an act, it's putting on a show. And character is not about a show. Character is truly who you are. So you could have success and not have character. Don't get me wrong. There are people with money that don't have character. But the question is that success sustainable, replicatable if you don't have character? All right. So we took down character. There you go. That's number 1. There's a whole bunch of these. This might spill into multiple shows, but let's start with that. Character is number 1. Number 2. All right, the qualities of a great leader. I wrote down the qualities of a leader, but that word great is important, because what I'm talking about is somebody who aspires to be the best of the best, the top of the top, that every day comes in with a quest to win at the highest level. So, characteristic number 2, charisma. Now, charisma is an interesting thing because not everybody has charisma. And that's not an indictment. You don't have to have charisma in order to succeed in life. There are plenty of people who, aren't big personalities, aren't type A's, aren't big, bubbly, gregarious people that can still be successful. But what we're talking about here today are the qualities of a great leader. Now, you see, you might be a genius computer programmer, and you might not ever need to speak to another person ever. You might just write great programs and sell them for millions of dollars. No charisma necessary. But if you want to be a leader of people, and see, I'm talking to you salespeople, I'm talking to you managerial types, I'm talking to you everybody in the executive suite, I'm talking about people who want to go out and raise capital to start your great business or fund your idea. Charisma is something that you want to embody, something that you want to work on, something that you need to be able to exhibit, because in order to get other people to act or react or become become convinced, charisma is like this. It's like the whipped cream and the cherry on top of the idea. You see, lots of people have a good idea, but if you can't convey that good idea with charisma, you need to hire somebody to do it for you. You need to hire a pitch man to pitch your great idea if you need other people to participate. If you want other people to be convinced, if you want other people to participate, if you want other people to join you in your journey, somebody with charisma needs to be the one conveying that idea. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you if you're not some big type A. You don't have to be Tony Robbins or Les Brown in order to become successful. But if you're in the business of convincing, if you're in the business of needing other people to come on board, then there's a certain amount of charisma that you got to sprinkle into your presentation, or people will get bored or people will get turned off. If I don't bring a certain amount of charisma to this show, you're going to get bored, you're going to fall asleep, you're going to pass out, you're going to go to sleep on the freeway while you're driving because I was just boring. If I don't bring a certain amount of charisma to this, I can't hold your attention. Am I right? I'm right. So, characteristic number 2 is charisma. Decide if you're the charismatic personality that should be the face of your enterprise, that should be the front of the business. There are many people that have great partnerships because they decide that one partner should be the face, should be the mouthpiece, because they're the one with the most charisma, and the other one should be logistics. Hey, they're both important. I am nobody's logistics person. Marlon will tell you that. Hey, when it comes to filing, organizing, putting together all of the details, wrong dude. But if you want me to pitch you the idea, I might be the guy. Marlon, on the other hand, is the guy who needs to make sure everything I said is really true. or if we could actually make it happen or deliver on it. But the fact is, there are people who are built to be the charismatic leader, spokesperson type, and there are people who aren't. But you need to know which one you are. Okay? So that's why charisma is very important. Number 3. Oh, this is a biggie because it goes right along with what we talked about with the one thing. Number 3 is commitment. 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 Do you know so many people have a problem with commitment? I mean, and then look around in your life. There are reasons to commit in many facets of your life. And we talk about on this show, we talk about your brain, your body, and your bank account. And I challenged you and would state that none of those are going to achieve you're not going to achieve any kind of level of success in any of those departments without a certain amount of commitment. So what do I mean by that? Think about it. If you're intentional about growing, your bank account, if you're intentional about having your body be fit, in shape, and healthy, if you're intentional about trying to grow your base of knowledge and your level of intelligence, you have to commit to a certain amount of dedication and work to that. Now, here's the thing. Great leaders are really, really serious about commitment. They're serious about the things that they are willing to basically put their life on the line for. Commitment is a huge deal to leaders because, number one, they only make them if they mean them. Number two, breaking a commitment to a leader, to a great leader, is kind of like breaching some major tenet in life. Some major. I know people who break their commitments and then they want to cry about it afterwards because they broke a contract with themselves. So ask yourself this: are you so serious and committed to your commitments that if you failed to fulfill one of your commitments to yourself, would you be disappointed, or would you just be like, oh, well, just another day? Think about it. Think about it. People who are serious and great leaders, they make commitments very carefully. They take them serious, like serious as cancer when they make a commitment. And then they ask for commitments from other people. And then they expect the same amount of determination from the people who commit things to them. Think about that. Commitment is up here. It's up here. It's like at the top of the list of important things to a great leader. So a great leader will ask you for your commitment, but be careful. Don't make that commitment if you don't mean it, because a great leader will hold you to that commitment and put your feet to the fire and will be sorely disappointed if you don't. And they take that stuff like crazy seriously. So, but remember, we're talking about the qualities of a great leader. So if a great leader is really serious about commitment, you might start to see why they became great or why they become great. They commit. They find their lane. They find that one thing and they commit, and they go all in on that thing. If you commit to working out every day, if you make a commitment to it, you got to live with it. I heard Brian Tracy say something great. He said, there is no such thing as 99% committed. It doesn't exist. Either you're 100% or you're not committed. That's it. You take away all the other options. You take away all the other possibilities. Either you're committed or you're not. You're going to get in shape, or you're going to commit to it. So then write down what you're going to do and commit to it. Are you trying to become affluent and wealthy? Commit to it. If you don't have a clue about how to start that journey, commit to learning something every day about that journey and stick to it. If you can commit to be the best salesperson in your world, commit to it. Commit to working on it every day until you become that. But here's the problem with most people. Most people commit to stuff, and then at the first sign of trouble, they quit, which means they weren't committed at all. You guys, commitment means burning the ships. You familiar with that metaphor, burning the ships? Whose navy was it that was sailing to go and conquer Troy or Sparta or whatever it was? And they had a small fleet. They were outmanned, they were outnumbered, and they were afraid. And whoever the leader was, and I'm probably screwing this story up, but I'm gonna give you the gist of it. The commander knew that his guys were scared. They knew they were outnumbered. They were going to a foreign land and they were going to attack. And once they got there, what he did to get the commitment of the guys, to get the commitment that there's no turning back, he burned the ships. They got to the foreign soil. They got to where they were going to attack, and he had his men burn all of their ships. You know what that did? That took away the possibility of turning around and going home. That took away the possibility of quitting. Take away the possibility of quitting, and that's where you'll find the commitment lives. That's where you want to force yourself to commit to something? Take away all other possibilities. It's an amazing practice. You should try it. All right, so commitment was number 3. And so let's hit number 4 before we take our next break. Number 4 is communication. Communication. Now, communication is not that far removed from charisma, but it's not the same. Communication, great leaders are great communicators. Now, for you, that might mean being able to communicate with others what your practice is, what your mission is, what your game is. Like, you know, I talk to a lot of you here are in the real estate business. Well, how well do you communicate to everyone in your world what it is you do? How is it that you can be a absolutely committed real estate professional if you haven't communicated to everyone you know that you're in the real estate business? I know, Angie, I need to go over your bio and your resume so you can start communicating it to everyone. She gives me a hard time about that because I'm slow to respond. But the point is, you need to communicate to everyone what it is you do, what it is your mission is, what it is your game plan is, where it is you're trying to go. Because guess what guess what communication helps you do? It helps you commit. So when you communicate your goals and your plans and your objectives to other people, guess what happens? Suddenly, you're committed because you told everybody about it. Suddenly, you can't quit because you told everybody what you were planning on doing. They're gonna, they're gonna hold you accountable. So communication helps you in your commitments. Does that make sense? You got it like that. Those two, they live together. They go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. And so we got character, we got charisma, we got commitment, and we got communication. Those are 1 through 4. Those are what great leaders exhibit. Those are attributes that great leaders exhibit. Think about all the great leaders you've met, all the great leaders in your life. Don't they have all 4 of those? Isn't that easy to see? Now we're going to get into some ones that are not so obvious after we take this short break. We're going to take a 2-minute break, maybe 2-minute break, and we're going to come back and talk about the next characteristics of a great leader. This is the Road to $1 Million show. I'm Daron C. Campbell, the hardest working man in real estate. I am your real estate mentor. We're all going to the top together. And today we're talking about the qualities of a great leader. Hang in there. Stick around. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Thanks for tuning in.